steps for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff. But
Angel Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
Brandon,
We
you want one
can't, we
quick
can't, we
question?
can't ask Rashad questions.
Hey,
Tonight,
Rashad.
I'm gonna get into it, man. Let's see. ASAP Rocky found Nat guilty, brother. ASAP Rocky found Nat guilty of his charges. A huge thing because he was facing the maximum, I believe, of 24 years with both of the counts that he was facing with the whole ASAP Rally incident from a few years ago. For those of you who are unfamiliar, before I read the story from the AP, a few years ago, I think pretty like 2021, I want to say. Yeah, 2021. ASAP Rocky was in a argument with a childhood friend, ASAP Relly, and they were kind of going back and forth at it. And then from the surveillance footage, it looked like they kind of got into a bit of a shoving match. And then it looked like Rocky on the surveillance footage pulled out a weapon, and then the footage didn't actually get any shots, but you could hear some shots, and then you see from different surveillance footage that Rocky is running down the street and he's running away. And that was the entire case because it was pretty much just if it was Rocky who was actually shooting at Relly, indeed, then he was going 24 years, a maximum of 24 years in a prison sentence. They turned down a deal. It was like 3 months and a year and a half on probation before the trial started. A lot of people like that's a great deal, being the stakes that he's facing here. But the defense, one of their arguments were that it was a fake gun, and another thing was that Relly couldn't prove self defense because he didn't pull out a weapon himself on the thing. I don't know. It was just it was a few kind of holes in Relly's story and some when what would seem to be a layup because you had the video. But it is what it is. Rocky is off. He's not guilty. First thing he did was jump over the barrier into Rihanna's arms. Of course, I don't want to say that was calculated 100%, but if your wife or if your life partner, if your baby mom's is a billionaire kind of icon, modern day pop art icon, and she's kind of obviously the most notable famous person in the room at the time, and you run over there to hug her, the cameras are going to get her. You know what that moment is going to look like. Come across that. So that's what he did. And he kind of just did not hold back. And that was just after the first verdict was announced. He still had another count that needed to be announced and stuff like that. And he was already jumping for glee and stuff like that. So it was what it was. And let's read the story from Andrew Dalton of the AP. From Los Angeles, AP. ASAP Rocky dove into the arms of Rihanna on Tuesday as a clerk read the not guilty, read the not guilty verdict at his trial of 2 felony counts of assault with a semi-automatic firearm. The Los Angeles courtroom, full of fans of the hip-hop performer and his singing superstar partner, exploded into screaming glee. Hold on, let me make sure my audio is right too, because I've been going for a little. Okay. Audio's good. Into screaming glee. Where we at? Screaming glee as Rocky leapt into the defense table into the gallery where Rihanna sat between his mother and sister. They embraced and sobbed. After a 3-week trial, the jury deliberated for just 3 hours to reach the verdict that spared Rocky, whose legal name is Rakim Mayers, a prison sentence that could run him more than 2 decades. Thank y'all for saving my life, he told the jurors as they left. Amid the chaos, it took the clerk a while to read the second not guilty verdict, though it was very unlikely the jury would split on the counts. Mr. Mayers, you're excused, Judge Mark Arnold said. On the eve of the trial, Rocky turned down a prosecution offered of just 6 months in jail, there it is, along with probation and other conditions if he pled guilty to 1 count. Insisting his innocence, Rocky decided to gamble that a jury would feel the same. It paid off. The jurors felt at least there was some reasonable doubt of his guilt. Rihanna hugged the defense lawyers, as did Rocky. She attended the trial sporadically and brought the couple's 2 sons, 2-year-old Riza Mayers and Rose Mayers, to some of the closing arguments. The couple had to fight through a crush of photographers, reporters, YouTubers, and fans waiting to get into the SUV outside of the courthouse after the verdict. This whole experience has been crazy for the last 4 years, Rocky said amid the mob scene. I'm thankful and it's blessed to be here to be a free man talking to y'all. District Attorney Nathan Hodgman said he respected the jury's decision. Our office remains committed to seeking accountability for those who break the law, no matter their status or influence, Hodgman said in a statement. Fame does not place one above the law, and we will not waver in our pursuit of justice for the victims and the community. The verdict came at the height of Rocky's fame, if not the pinnacle of his music career. What? Pinnacle of his music career? See, this is why you need diversity. This is why you need diversity on in your newsroom. This is why you need diversity on your staff. It came at the pinnacle of his music career. Rocky ain't dropped an album in 4 years. Rocky had the Taylor Swift music video last year. And he been teasing this Don't Be Dumb album since what, 2023? He teased it December 2023 is February 2020. He's not at the pinnacle of his music career. Now he can be if he drops his Don't Be Dumb and it goes crazy as a 2000, because see, like, and this is not even a diss to ASAP Rocky. This is more so respecting ASAP Rocky and what ASAP Rocky was as a musician, as an artist, as a rapper, as a hip hop, as an icon, what he meant to music 2011 to 2000, I say 16. You can even say 17 because you got the G-Eazy joint. You know what I'm saying? 2017. What Rocky did and what Rocky meant to music, the music he was consistently dropping from 2011 to 2017, you cannot possibly say 2025 he's at the pinnacle of his career. Can't say that's. I feel like that's disrespectful to what Rocky was in 2011 and 2012. But anyways, the verdict came at and if not the pinnacle of his music career. The 3-time Grammy nominee, fashion mogul, and actor has a banner year in the works and can now look to it without the threat of prison time hanging over him. He is scheduled to headline the Rolling Loud Music Festival in March. He's one of the celebrity co-chairs of music fashion's biggest night, the Met Gala, in May, and he stars with Denzel Washington and director Spike Lee's film Highest to Lowest, set to release in the early summer. Prosecutors and their witnesses said that he was beefing with a former friend, A$AP Rocky, with whom he had been in a crew with. They called themselves the A$AP Mob since high school. They said the two men met up in Hollywood in November 6, 2021. There it is. And after a scuffle, Rocky pulled a gun and fired twice at Relly, who said one of the shots grazed his knuckle, but was not seriously hurt. Rocky's lawyer, Joe Tacopino said in his closing argument that Relly is an angry, pathological liar who committed perjury again and again and again. Rocky's lawyers and witnesses they called said Rocky had a prop gun that only fires blanks, which he had been carrying for security since it was taking it from a music video set months earlier. They said he fired it as a warning because Relly was attacking another member of their crew. The jurors were instructed that they found that Rocky reasonably believed that he or one of the two friends with him that night were in imminent danger of injury, and that he used reasonable force. They could find the defendant not guilty. Excuse me. The jurors were escorted from the courthouse, and they all left promptly without speaking to reporters. It wasn't clear whether they reached a verdict because they believed he was in fact carrying a prop gun or that he acted in self-defense. They did not have to agree on their reasoning or explain it outside of the jury room. They just had to reach the same conclusion. They saw through the mirage of the case, Tacopino said. He turned down a plea for almost no jail time because he was innocent. In his closing argument, Deputy District Attorney John Lewin urged the jurors not to be influenced by the celebrity or family aspects of the case and suggested Rihanna bringing the kids to closing arguments was an attempt to manipulate the jury. You are not allowed to consider how this might affect Rihanna and her kids, the prosecutor said. We are all responsible for our own actions in this world. Yikes. After the verdict, Tacopina said outside the courthouse that Rocky did not want her here. I will tell you that. He said Rocky wanted to shield her from this. Wild horses couldn't keep her away. Rocky was more than 30 minutes late into the reading for the verdict and looked shaken and tense as he waited for it. There was a moment when, before he heard the words "the clerk," he didn't know if he was going to spend the next 2 decades in jail or going home, Tacopino said. Then came the explosion of emotion, and he leapt into the crowd. I didn't know how athletic he was. Taco Bino said that was raw emotions. You guys got to see that. Even for us, that was insane. Yeah. That's what I got from it as well. Watching it live on the Law and Order channel or the Law and Crime channel. Shout out to the Law and Crime channel. Yeah, Rocky was definitely shaking, bro. Rocky was shaking, and you could see it visibly. He was shaking there in the courtroom as they were reading it. He was looking over his shoulder, looking at each person as they were kind of announcing what was about to happen and stuff. And and what else did he say? Um, and he said out loud, thank you for saving my life. Like he said it out loud when the mic was still going. He gave his reaction and said yes, and ran behind and jumped over and stuff like that and hugged, all in real time. And you know those were all real emotions. Also, you could tell he was late because the verdict was supposed to be read at 7 p.m. Eastern, and it was read at 8 p.m. Eastern, nearly 8 p.m. Eastern. So he was definitely late, and but they got it done. And on one hand, you have to salute that this man gets to go home now to his family, 2 kids and his lifetime partner. And hopefully, it's also, I don't know, he might think it's nothing to learn here because I just had this thing for like they said, protection, and it was just a prop. It wasn't real or anything like that. It was just for protection and stuff like that. If that was the case and everything like that, then I don't know. I'm just glad that a guy gets to continue to live his life, be with his family, not have any major interruptions. And I hope, if there was, hypothetically, in the world where there was any involvement in any type of craziness in this argument turned trial, there was any craziness, I hope Rocky learns from it and doesn't put himself in those positions again, because he's now affiliated and forever linked, thanks to their 2 children, with the billionaire, with the multifaceted billionaire. So, I just hope Rocky kind of continues to move smarter as the time goes on as well. Salute to ASAP Rocky. Shout out Rihanna as well. Speaking
Snaps for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff, but
Angel Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
Brandon,
We
you want one
can't,
quick question?
we can't ask Rashad a question.
Hey, Rashad.